Hello, LinkedIn. We are back for another unboxing Thursday. Um, Today, Trisha and I will be unboxing the new modern marketing email templates. There was an update this week on importing HTML email templates using AI. Chris this morning asked me if that is what we were doing, and no, I I am not brave enough to touch HTML to that capacity. But what I am brave enough to do is take a look at this update, new modern marketing email templates. Trisha, this is the one that you wanted to cover. Do you want to talk a little bit about why you were excited when you saw this one?
Because frankly, the templates that HubSpot had before were all so terrible, I never used them. That's why. So I always get excited anytime they have something new that I think might be better.
You're like, it can't be worse. Can't possibly.
And I think so, one big caveat with all of this is that study after study has shown that plain text emails perform better than template emails. However, there are some exceptions to that. Like one area where I think, see, now I forgot. I'm sorry, and I didn't write it down, but trust me when I say I was looking at this last week, and it's not like a hard and fast rule for every email type.
Yes, plain text emails tend to do better, but also like I like to think about what I'm sending and whether plain text is sensible. For example, if Chewy sent me a birthday email and it was plain text, I might be a little bit like, what is a spam? Like, what is happening here? versus if they send me a big image that's like like I know that Chewy's not personally sending me a birthday email. That's ridiculous. If they do a little, it's gonna seem a little more professional, a little more authentic in what they're actually doing, versus oftentimes I think marketers want to trick people, and just I guess just think through like, is this reasonable? Is this a reasonable trick? Because I did get sticking with the Chewy example, I used their like virtual vet visit thing a couple years ago. And I did get an email follow up after that, and it was specific to my visit. And that is a much more reasonable thing to have a one-on-one email from, compared to just like a birthday one. So I don't know. Think about that a little. That's what I try to think about with when I'm debating plain text versus designed HTML kind of emails. The other, I have a hard time talking about email right now without mentioning that like email rates are diminishing every consistently month over month, year over year. Obviously, that's not true for every single person, every single industry, but that is like broadly true. And part of that is there's so much noise in our email inbox. I say this all the time. I feel like my entire purpose in life is to get to inbox zero. Every day, my goal is to get to inbox zero. So for your email to make me take action has to be incredible. Like, I want to delete your email so badly.
Your goal, and probably millions of people like you, is to delete the email that I'm sending to you. That's correct. Your goal.
That's my goal. So you have to stop me from doing that. How are you going to stop me from immediately deleting your email? And sometimes a plain text is going to help but sometimes it's not. A lot of times it's the subject line. But also sometimes those more designed emails, if you can draw my attention to why I shouldn't delete your email through an image, then that's going to keep me there a little longer potentially. So think through that.
Yeah. And okay, so two more things, and I'm in agreement with you that one of the companies I've worked with has these they have very well designed emails. They're beautiful. And they put the effort into creating a whole, style guide just around email content. And they do get very good engagement. Who's to say? I mean, they have a very engaged audience anyway, but emails are beautiful. I didn't have any examples I could come up with, but to your point, Casey, context matters. And there are a few different areas where I think having a template would be a big leg up from just plain text. One is e-commerce. Just having a little kind of shopping experience. I think that's going to lend itself to a template more. A second is events. Webinars, whatever, you usually often want to highlight people. And so there are probably better ways to do that than the on the fly ad hoc ways that you and I have put these together. And then another one, courses. So if you have a course of learning materials, there's probably a good use of a template there to you need some sort of table of contents, maybe not. You might want to have links to other pieces of of the course. I don't know, but that also feels like it could lend its. I mean, you're doing the course right now, so you're the person who would know.
That's true. My course is delivered through Slack.
Oh, that's right.
But I could see if I was doing this over email, I do think a template would make sense. One of the things I think is great about these templates and HubSpot providing templates generally is I think about the small teams. I think about the one-person marketing teams that are trying to do their best of HubSpot. And if you have good templates to reference to update, it's going to give you a leg up and you're going to be able to get something that looks really professional more quickly. I mean, I use Canva for a lot of my social posts. I am not a designer. I am not. I'm sure there are designers that I'm friends with that see my LinkedIn posts and cringe. And that's fine. That's their opinions. All I am is someone who can go into Canva and who can select some templates and can customize those based on whatever I'm trying to share. That's all I do. So
I think a great use case. So if you are a really small marketing team, or even if you're on a bigger marketing team, but you're just using a lot of plain text, there might finally be a reason to try to do something different. I think the other thing that was, so here's another thing too, right? We've taken a look at adding some design to these templates in the past. And to your point, in the past, you had to be a developer to do that. You could not get a good result. So I'm excited to see. What do we got?
All right. So now that we're 10 minutes in, what are we talking about? The new modern marketing templates. What is it? Get ready for a major upgrade to your marketing emails. With this rollout, you'll gain access to a variety of modern, high-quality, responsive email templates designed for common email marketing use cases, including newsletters, webinars, product announcements, event invitations, and promotions. Why does it matter? With a refreshed library of our native drag and drop email templates, you can now quickly select and customize high-quality templates, spending less time on design and more time crafting compelling content that converts. launch campaigns faster, seize timely marketing opportunities, and deliver a flawless experience across all devices with our responsive designs. I think that last line is really important. And so I just want to emphasize that HubSpot has made a lot of improvements lately over the past few years to make their emails more mobile friendly. If you are into web development, design, user experience at all, you probably hear people talk about designing mobile first. That is a very common phrase and common like thought process recently. And so I encourage everyone to think mobile first. I know one thing that I see on emails I get, but I've also seen this on emails that I have sent is the margins. So when you look at an email on a desktop, a lot of times how you're designing it has margins built in and more margin than you need. However, when that goes to mobile devices, a lot of times those margins are slim to none. Yeah. And actually, I got an email with really no margin, and I opened it and I was like, this looks truly terrible. And then I went and looked at like some emails out of HubSpot I'd sent, and I was like, oh my God, I need to, I need to go.
Oh, got it. Got it. And there's also, I get some emails every once in a while where the font is just tiny, like it's too small to read. So yeah, making that part, after all, they have to be legible, they have to be easy to read. So if this is a method of ensuring that it's going to show up beautifully in every platform, every device, there's something to that.
Yeah. So a couple of things just to note. One, email templates have existed in HubSpot. Email templates are not new. They have just recently expanded the amount of email templates available. And one thing when I was prepping for the show, I just found out who gets it, all hubs and tiers. However, asterisk, I noticed when I went into my portal that I have a pro plan, a lot of the templates were locked. Not all of them, but a lot. And when I clicked choose, it wanted me to get a professional plan. So just if you are on a pro or a free plan, just know that you might run into a couple of roadblocks. Talking about what we used to see, this is the kind of template. These are the old templates. And don't get me wrong, it's not like inherently bad or anything. But now, so this is promotion. This is the old way. This is the new way. And I think not only are these more robust, but I also like that they are designed a little more completely, which comparing this to this, it gives people more, it unlocks.
It looks more professional.
And I've seen a lot of companies.
I mean, those two examples, that just looks like a very basic HubSpot template. If you were going to send this to a bunch of people and do a test and say which one came from Chewy, I would say the one on the right. That looks more like what Chewy would say.
And I've seen a lot of companies put their logo in, edit their text here, and this is their email. Done. Versus this, don't get me wrong, you're gonna have to customize more stuff, but like it's almost forcing you to do some of that work to make it look better long term, which I think is good because you're not just like defaulting to basic. There is, of course, this full library. This is an unlocked portal. So it seems like if you have marketing professional, then all of them are unlocked. Best I can tell right now. Happy or may be proven wrong at a later date. So if I go in and choose this template, let's use that one. I was wondering if it was going to auto swap my logo. It didn't do that. Not that that's a big deal. I just didn't know if it was going to pull that from the company branding.
It would be nice if it was pulling all of the colors, etc., from the company branding, but
I was hoping it would do that. It obviously did not. This is just using there. So then I would have to go into this template design on the left-hand side and start updating for mine also, just a heads up. These are all, by the way, just as a note, these are all going to be drag and drop templates. So that means you can drag and you can drop, which makes them really nice. Do you want to just start taking a look at some of them, Trisha, and see which ones we like? See which ones we...
Yeah, let's pretend that I sell flower arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
And so go into let's look at the e-commerce templates.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, one thing I don't like about, like, I like the way this one looks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to replace all of these images with branded ones, which I think for a small marketing team is a challenge. And even these numbers, like, these are images actually. And I think the formatting on this is a little weird.
Why would you have to change those? Because they're purple, if purple is not your branding?
Correct.
What happens if you go in style? Let's see how smart HubSpot is. No. Back where you were. Well, do that. Do that. Change that to, I don't know, something that's Casey Cohub colored. It's only doing the text, huh? All right.
I still have to even like these backgrounds.
Go into that image under above project.
Above what? Oh, above project.
That one. And the style button next to that. There's nothing.
And actually, even I did update the button style, but it's still not updating. It didn't auto update the buttons.
Oh, well. Ah, well. Interesting. I just feel like, I guess maybe the assumption is you're using your own icons. Come on, it's easy enough to go grab a sheet of icons in the right color.
Trisha's like, get over it, Casey.
That's not the worst problem.
I'm just noting it. Just noting it.
No, but it would be really cool if you could also, it would be really cool if they could figure out a way to incorporate your brand kit into these so that off the rip, it looks more like your stuff.
I agree.
But having said that, okay, go into the e-commerce templates and let's pick out a template for me.
All right, you are selling flowers.
I'm selling flowers, and so I'm thinking that something that has like a grid.
Because you want to show your flowers.
Imagine going to Urban Stems, for example.
Oh, these pull in from your products, just a minute. This is the old, basically only
Those are the old ones.
So you want a grid of your products, right? I mean, Green Friday, it's just plants. That's what's, but there's 3 images. These are broken at the moment, but.
Interesting.
This one I find interesting for you. This one.
Yeah, there you go. So Could be interesting. And then, if the big top image isn't for you, it's drag and drop. You can just get rid of whatever doesn't work for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're drag and drop. So yeah, you can get rid of what doesn't work. Like if I'm like, I don't want this. It's like,
If I don't want this.
there, I just needed to click delete. I just needed to click more. I wasn't being patient enough. Which makes sense that I wouldn't be patient enough too. That's how it works. There you go. Yeah, this one I think could work for your plant business. This is similar, a little more text heavy.
What about the skin products one? That one.
So if you have your products in, this one's going to pull in your product descriptions dynamically, which is nice.
Nice. Can you edit them? Or are they only dynamic?
This portal almost certainly doesn't have products. So you can select which products, select manually, or use product recommendations.
Okay.
This portal doesn't have any.
That feels like it could be tricky. But that's cool.
If you're using products already, then I think it's helpful. If you aren't using products, then it will get tricky. But there are a lot of e-commerce ones compared to previously. There was like this, basically. This was your e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Is
there a way? Are you just recognizing what are the old ones versus the new ones, or
just this brain?
Just this brain. I feel like if you're looking, if it has images in it, that's a new template, and if it looks like that with placeholder images, that's an old one.
I don't remember this one specifically. However, it certainly could be. There are some things in here that seem not perfect. But I don't remember. I don't remember this one specifically. I think and this one's actually a 2, which makes me think it's a new one.
I think that's a new one.
Yeah. But it's using those, it's pulling in those, what am I trying to say? Those line items, maybe, which could be why.
Mm-hmm.
It's not showing images. So engagement, we do a lot of like follow-up emails, newsletter style emails. Well, there's a whole nother one. This is your re-engagement email. Re-engagement emails, very interesting, underutilized in my humble opinion. If someone reaches your unengaged list or is about to, sending them something like this, do you still want to hear about us? I think more people should be using this, and this template makes it pretty easy to figure out like the pieces that you should consider incorporating.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if that helps you go from not having a resubscribe list for a resubscribe email, or like having a resubscribe email this week instead of in like late June sometime,
mm-hmm.
or never,
mm-hmm.
Use the template.
Use a template. And then what's the informational one? Oh, this is like new products. The newsletter, that's what I wanted to click to.
Newsletters are tricky, man, because there's only so much space on the page. I feel like you could do a 2-column side by side, or you can stack it. What do they do?
I know. I was going to say, Trisha, I think you love hate a newsletter. But they are tricky, and these are especially tricky on mobile. So definitely take a look at what your mobile versions of your newsletters look like. They're stacking. I don't really know if I get this section.
Don't love this one.
These are side by sides, and then these are stacked. I get they want to like add some more dimension here, but this feels unnecessary, and I think people aren't going to scroll past it, and they're not going to see what's below it. This is a low image newsletter. I like this latest news, limited time CTA, and then like this is a little bit about us. I like this structure.
I mean, a newsletter should be
News.
It's something for people to scan like a dozen things and pick out the one that they want to actually read.
Mm-hmm.
So the other one, it looked like it wasn't very scannable.
Mm-hmm. This last one might be my favorite of the newsletter varieties.
Mm-hmm.
Article 1, Article 2, well, like main article, Article 1, Article 2, small articles, probably a demo, CTA or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more flexibility in this one, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting that they have some plain text ones too, actually.
It is interesting.
Previously, it was just this one, which this is, I mentioned the spacing at the top. This is the spacing problem. You can see right here, there's no spacing, which that's not how when I send an email from my Gmail, this is not how it looks. This one is plain text with some spacing, minimal formatting. And then there are some other varieties with like just some light formatting. A little hard, like this, calling this plain text is probably a bit of a stretch in my opinion.
It is a little bit, but I see where they're going with it.
Yeah. So personally, I clone emails. I don't come into this template view very often. If I was starting from scratch or I wanted to start from scratch, I probably would look at some of these plain text ones. Honestly, I might start with one of these plain text ones and then build onto it myself using the drag and drop. That is honestly probably what I would
like
personally do. If I wanted more of a jump start, I did like newsletter 3, and I like the Engage one as well.
I mean, it depends what you're going for. Scroll through the one, because these are supposed to be more responsive than what we had before.
Mm-hmm.
Go into that one on the right. And then, scroll through the mobile version. Yeah, that's about what I would expect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One thing that has historically been an issue with mobile versions is like what used to happen is like all of these images would be at the top and then all of the text would be below it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually stacking as you intended it to.
Yeah. Or if you've ever tried to build one of these and that's what happened to you on the mobile version, here's a template all worked out for you.
All worked out. Yeah. Exactly.
Let's look at those event ones.
Yes, we didn't.
And tell me if there's one that you think is an improvement on your like event or webinar emails.
This looks like a newsletter to me.
That looks like a newsletter. I think it's just in the wrong spot. Oh, that's fun.
This one's nice, fun.
You know
You
what
are
else? If you've ever had to send an oops email, I feel like that birthday one could be a good template for an oopsie.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Here's an ebook one. I actually like this one. The colors.
Click into the image. Does it like take your image and go like this with it?
No,
That's fine.
that's an image.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. It's an image.
Oh well.
I was like, I am so sure.
That would be so smart, right? If they did
It would
for an
be.
ebook and they did that.
It would be. Let me just look through event 3. I like this one for a webinar.
I like this one for a webinar or for an in-person event.
Or for an in-person event. This one's okay, but I think I could recreate this. I think I would have recreated something fairly easy like this. I think this one and this one are the two that I like the most.
Mm-hmm.
Any feelings?
I like them for different things. That event invitation 2, I think I'd be more likely to use that for an in-person event.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just because that's what I would use that one for. That's just the gut instinct. And the other one, I'd be more likely to use that for a webinar.
I think you might be getting swayed by the existing content.
It could be. It could be, but one of them has more like areas for like, here's where you should go.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has the speaker area.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
The only one we didn't take a look at was grading. So did we?
No, we didn't. Here's the thing.
Interesting. Interesting. Thank you email.
I think the thing that's a little interesting about all of these is they seem more e-commerce focused, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do a lot of e-commerce. I do mostly SaaS. HubSpot primarily has most of their customers are SaaS. So I know they have been making a lot of updates to make the platform work better for e-commerce, and this is probably one of those things. But it's just interesting to me that I thought there would. I'm surprised so much of this is so e-commerce. I thought that it would be at least a little more balanced, but it seems.
Mm-hmm. It also feels like email templates. Going back to like who would use an email template? I feel like e-commerce is.
Mm-hmm.
They really need to have good-looking emails where the content is very structured.
Yeah. Oh, here's a quote one. This is new too. If you wanted to send like a case study or a testimonial or something.
Oh, that could be interesting.
But I bet you that is an image. It's an image.
All right. So having looked at all these, are there any that you think you'll be trying out in the next week or two?
Any that I'll be trying out in the next week or two.
Yeah. So in other words, are you going to take that cookbook off the shelf and cook something with it, or is it going to stay in the bookshelf?
Okay, so I don't think I'm going to I don't see myself like immediately using any of these. When I would see myself using these is if I have a new client or I'm using like a new HubSpot instance and I don't have like a template that I've already established.
Mm-hmm.
Or, my clients never run a webinar before and they're running their first webinar and basically one of my existing templates isn't a good fit. But I stand by that, my behavior is probably still going to be to clone emails. And a lot of that is because it takes a lot of time to like restyle everything with your styling. And because of the drag and drop functionality, it's, for me at least, it's easier for me to drag and drop and create something new out of an existing template that's already branded than it is for me to rebrand a non-branded template. That's just me.
That's fair. What about, you have a client that might be redoing a learning course that it delivers through email, and I think it has like 6 or 7 steps in it. Would you, when they have the new content for you, would you redo it with the existing template, or would you start over with that?
Deciding whether I want to lie or not.
So that's you'd probably stick with what you have.
I probably would, but again, I'm pretty comfortable in the drag and drop editor right now. I think where I would encourage new HubSpot users who are intimidated by the email tool, intimidated by the drag and drop editor, I would encourage them to check out the templates. But myself personally, I don't know if I'm going to change my behavior for this one personally. What do you think? Do you think you'd use these?
I think some of them is, especially like, I think some of them could be an improvement. Also, like the one that we found in greetings that said started with thank you. I think that could be an interesting template for a thank you email. Like they downloaded a thing and now you're giving them the thing. I think that could be an interesting template to use.
I don't think you're wrong. And maybe, yeah, I do think it is. However, would I just try to recreate this in an existing one?
Yeah.
But would I actually?
Also, you would probably, I'm guessing, if you were going to replace something, you would test it, right? Against what you have already?
If I have enough volume.
Yeah.
I do. If you are new or intimidated by HubSpot emails, definitely check this out. If you feel like you're not happy with your email template, check this out. If you're not happy with the mobile responsiveness of your existing email templates, check this out. Because you made a good point with that one newsletter with the stacking. Getting the stacking to work right is hard. So if you can just use a template that already has it right, it feels easier.
All right. We did the thing.
Any final thoughts?
No.
All right. Have a good rest of your week, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.